it takes resilience, it takes hard work, it takes persistence, it takes you to actually sacrifice a lot to be where the mayor is. So comme num ko don waxe rek Honorable Madi Cissé mom mo binda book bo xamne dal mo about jaar-jaari role mayor Rohey Malick Lowe wax na dal si book bi mom dal lo xamne dal amna solo si mom mo nekk ne lu mu fi wax mu ne bu mu doon binda book bi dafa metti si mom torop ndaxte am record nga mu doon jigéen boo xam ne daal dafa nekk jigéeni jàmbaar am record xam jaar-jaaram lan la daj pour lii fi because nga nekk jigéen boo xam ne daal yaa ngi vie for position dëgg la papa mayor la woon waaye dafa jafe woon torop pour moom mu nekk mayor ndaxte even yaayam koo xam ne daal moo ko jur dafa against on the issue of moom mu nekk mayor nekkul ne bëggul mu nekk foofu noonu waaye because of situation bi because of environment bi nuñ ko xoolee jigéen boo xam ne daal jóg na mu nekk si position boo xam ne daal moo toolu ne mu nekk jigéen boo xam ne benn jigéen si Gambia depuis Gambia bu mu doonee Gambia moom rek a nekk jigéen boo xam ne daal oo nañ ko si history books yi ñu ne kii moo nekk Lord Mayor of Banjul te Lord Mayor si dëkk boo xam ne daal moo nekk di capital city of the Gambia so loolu dafa break societal norms dafa break tradition boo xam ne daal dañoo wax ne jigéen du mun a nekk lead jigéen du mun a jiite as such mu dem si garmel yi moo nekk graveyard yi papaam pour ñaan tamit seek for approval wax papaam ndax dina nangu ne moom mu nekk Lord Mayor of Banjul so jaar-jaar bi dafa bëri waaye pour ñu understand lan la go through lan la daj ak tamit because soo ko gisee tey mu toog dangaa foog ne le lii dafa yomba dangaa jóg rek nga nekk Lord Mayor waaye behind the scenes dafa nekk nit loo nit koo xam ne dafa daj lu bëri so Honorable Madi Cissé si book bi loolu la summarize moom moo nekk nit koo xam ne daal moo binda book bi about jaar-jaari Lord Mayor Rohey Malick Lowe su boobaa rek ñu move because tey programme bi dafa am activities yu bari loo xam ne daal dañ ko war a laal te time bi nekkut fa so from that brief summary of the Honorable Madi Cissé about the history and of course some of the challenges that he has gone through in writing the book about the success stories and challenges of the Lord Mayor. Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is a distinguished public servant and respected leader whose journey continues to inspire many, especially women and young people across different communities.
And as Councillor and former Lord Mayor of Leeds in the United Kingdom, her leadership continues to reflect dedication to representation, inclusion, service, and community empowerment.
Just like the Lord Mayor of Banjul, her story reminds is one of resilience, leadership, and of course, impact beyond borders.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please help us warmly welcome Her Lordship Abigail Marshall Katung.
Thank you very much. Thank you to the women of Gambia. Thank you all so much. It's an absolute delight to be back here. Her Worship, Lord Mayor Lowe, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Bayelsa State, who also serves as my husband's twin, and also my other half, my husband, Senator Sunday Marshall Katung, who's here today. If you all don't know, if you are married to twins, you have to be married to both of them. So thank you very much to my husband, who is the silent doer behind the scenes and has facilitated a lot of what you see here today. So my darling, thank you very much. Our UDP leader, and I use the word our because I am also Gambian. Thank you very much, sir, Lawyer Dabo, for holding the light and for looking after my dear sister. Permit me to stand on all existing protocol, to all the distinguished guests here, all fellow mayors, all the wonderful people who have come from the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Give them a huge hand of applause. ambassadors and all the diplomatic corps here today, thank you all so much. Most importantly, my New Minka sisters, give them a huge hand of applause. Thank you. I stand before you today with profound sense of honor and humility. I am absolutely delighted to be given the opportunity to deliver a keynote address in an event where my own sister is being celebrated. Let me be clear, it's not just about celebrating her as a colleague and a sister. I am here to witness a living legend, her worship, Rohi Malik Lowe, the Lord Mayor of Banjul. As we have heard earlier, we launched 3 wonderful commemorative books, a documentary, a magazine, and of course, her book, which we've just heard from Mr. Malik as well, about his reasons behind that book. And very, very touching, especially the chapter 3 and her worship going to her father's grave. God bless you. Also, I mentioned the Secretary General of the UDP. I have also just found out that he is also a senior alumni of the University of Lagos, Nigeria. Amazing. No wonder you are the leader of the UDP. My husband also happens to be an alumni of University of Lagos. So congratulations. I can say with confidence that there are men who trade in that market today. Let's talk about youth employment and dignity. Her worship understands that a clean city is a dignified city. She launched a youth-led urban cleaning system that began with 70 workers and now employs hundreds of young people. Through the youth volunteerism scheme, validated with United Nations support, she is breaking the cycle between education and unemployment. Young people in Banjul are not waiting for handouts. They are working, they are learning, and I am certain they are also very proud of our Lord Mayor. Talking about Water for Women, her flagship Water for Women initiative, which I know is very, very dear to her heart. She has delivered clean water to underserved communities across the Gambia, directly advancing the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 6 in a nation where women and children bear the heaviest burden of water scarcity. Her worship has turned a human right into a lived reality of thousands of families, and I join the good people of Banjul to say thank you, Her Lordship. The next point I wish to highlight here is that of the national level, which I call the Gambian's voice for local government. Her worship, Rohi Lowe, is not just the mayor of Banjul, she is the national conscience for local government in the Gambia. She has consistently argued that local government is where impact lives. At the launch of the Organization Economic Cooperation and Development of African Development Bank and United Cities for Local Governments and the Africa Report of African Urbanization Dynamics 2025, she declared, open quote, "Most institutions with financial power want to work with central government rather than local government. Local government is not at the top of their agenda, but that's where impact is," close quote. Lord Mayor Lowe has received national recognition, including West Africa Social Media Awards, Public Service Excellence Award in 2025, presented alongside Her Excellency First Lady Fatoumata Barrow. Accepting her award, Her Worship humbly said, open quote, This recognition is not a personal accolade, but a testament to the collective spirit, resilience, and hard work of the entire city of Banjul and the Gambia, close quote. The UDP, in a rare gesture of cross-partisan celebration, publicly congratulated Her Worship on winning the African Woman of the Year award, calling her an excellent example of girls and young women, a fine role model, an exemplary leader, and of course, a woman of substance. Thank you. When political parties agree on a leader's excellence, that leader has transcended partisanship. Her Worship has done exactly that. Now let me take you to the international level, which I label Banjul's voice on the global stage. This is where Her Worship Rohey Malik Lowe has truly rewritten the script of what a city mayor can be. Addressing the United Nations General Assembly, Her Worship addresses that assembly every single year. Let me repeat, every single year for the last 18. This is where forum of the highest level of political power in the world, where you meet the movers and the shakers of the globe. When she stands on that podium in New York, she does not speak as Rohey Malik Lowe, but she speaks as the mayor of Banjul, and the world listens. What the world sees there is Banjul, and the world sees the Gambia, and that is simply amazing. Let's talk about the World Urban Forum, its historic double honor. Just 2 weeks ago in Baku, Azerbaijan, Her Worship achieved what few leaders will ever experience. She was selected to deliver the keynote address at the opening ceremony of the World Urban Forum 13. She was also selected to deliver the closing speech on behalf of local and regional governments of the entire world. What a woman, what a rare gem. Give her a huge hand of applause. From opening to closing, Her Worship represented every city, every region, every local government on this planet at that event. That is not an accident. That is the result of years of tireless advocacy, relationship building, and relentless visibility on behalf of the people of Banjul. As the president of RAFELA, the local elected women's network of Africa, known with the French acronym RAFELA, Her Worship leads a continental movement spanning 54 African countries, and under her leadership, RAFELA has championed 3 historic agendas backed by the United Nations Agenda for 2063 and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals for 2030. First, zero violence against women and girls. Secondly, zero exclusion of women from politics and decision making. And thirdly, empowerment of women and girls. She has personally overseen capacity building programs that have trained women mayors and councillors across the continent in leadership, in governance, in fundraising, and in gender budgeting. Africa as a capital city for sustainability, and through the Africa Capital Cities Sustainability Forum, Her Worship has built a continental network of capital city mayors committed to sustainable urban development, sharing best practices, mobilizing resources, and speaking with one voice on challenges such as climate change. As the Vice President of the Global Parliament of Mayors, Her Worship serves as the Vice President of the Global Parliament of Mayors, placing Banjul at the table where world's most influential city leaders shape global policy. She has received, as the first African mayor, the Global Parliament of Mayors Awards in 2022 in recognition of her exceptional leadership. Thank you. At the United Nations Nations high-level engagement, her worship has addressed the United Nations Water Conference, declaring, open quote, "Water governance is not only a global concern, but a local responsibility. Meaningful participation must begin before conferences are convened, with local governments actively involved in shaping agendas from the outset," close quote. She has represented Banjul at the UN Climate Conference, the Africa Climate Summit, the AfriCity Summit, and the Stockholm Conference on Women's Political Participation. She has also served as a panelist alongside the African Development Bank, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, and Cities Alliance global power players. Looking at the South-South cooperation as well, her worship has championed South-South cooperation, facilitating exchanges between Banjul and other developing cities to share best practice in governance, climate action, and gender equality. The renovation of the Albert Market, supported by the King of Morocco, stands as a shining example of what such partnerships can achieve. So from Harvard to the smallest workshop, her worship has also led and making sure that it's not monopolized, but it is actually cultivated. She has participated in Harvard leadership programs, bringing world-class executive education back here in Banjul. She has also organized small grassroots capacity building workshops for women and youth across the city. Whether on a global stage or in a local community, she is always building the next generation. She has built the capacity for young women to set up and replace her. She knows her time will come to leave the scene at some point, but she will never, ever leave you. To all the strong women out there, may we know them, may we be them, and most importantly, may we raise them. And I know firsthand that that is exactly what our Lord Mayor is doing, raising young girls to be like her someday. With these remarkable work that she does, people appreciate her everywhere. I will now talk about some of the award and international recognition that she has received. Not for her personal ambition, but as recognition of Banjul's rising stature. In 2022, she received the Global Parliament Awards and Parliament of Mayors Award. In 2023, the Special Citation of Exemplary Leadership of the United Nations Habitat. In 2024, African Woman of the Year, and 2025, West Africa Social Media Awards for Public Service and Excellence Award. Every award that her worship has received, she has dedicated it not to herself, but to the people of Banjul. Now, permit me to respond to the critics of her travels. Very important. Some people complain that her worship travels too much. Let me address that directly, and I've got the authority to do so. She does not travel for family visits. She does not travel for tourism. She does not travel for her personal pleasure. Lord Mayor Low travels for the people of Banjul. She travels for the people of Gambia. Traveling can be very risky, but she does that for you. Her recent trip in May to Nigeria was also to attend the Impact Her and the African Union Global Women's Sustainable Conference, of which I was also part of, representing the people of Banjul, and both of us, myself as a former mayor and her as your mayor, in that capacity in another country. And she used that same visit to travel to Bayelsa State, and that is the result of what you see today with His Excellency and his entourage in the Gambia. Amba Yelsa, she also moved to the National Assembly of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and sat for a session in the Red Chambers, thanks to my dear husband who invited both of us, and she was well recognized on behalf of the people of Banjul in the Red Chambers at the National Assembly in Abuja, not for herself again, but for the people of Banjul and the Gambia. So when she stands at the United Nations General Assembly, she carries the name of the city and the flag of your country. When she delivers the closing speech on behalf of the cities and regions of the world does not see Rohey Malik Lowe, they see Banjul and they see the Gambia. She addresses world heads of state. She sits at the table where decisions are made about climate, finance, urban development, and gender equality. And every single time, she makes sure that Banjul is in the room. Just a few mayors have that opportunity. I can tell you that, and she is definitely one of them. So let us not criticize her traveled Gambians. Let us celebrate it, because every mile that she flies, every passport that's been stamped, she collects every speech that she delivers, and she is doing that for the people of Banjul and the Republic of Gambia. So before I conclude, I want to call on the women and the girls of Banjul and the Gambia, specifically right now. I speak directly to you as your sister. Her worship, Rohey Malik Lowe, has built the capacity of young women to set up and replace her and to step up most importantly. She has mentored, she has trained, she has opened doors. One day she will leave the scene, but she will not leave you. So I say to every young woman here today, do not be afraid to step up and get into her shoes. Go to her, tell her to hold your hand, and I guarantee you she will do just that. She will guide you, she will teach you, she will fight for you, as she has fought for Banjul over so many years. The road is not easy, I can assure you. When I came here in March and I was talking about women in politics, I did tell you that being a woman in politics is tough, and being a woman of color in politics is tougher. But she has continued to blaze the trail. So thank you, my Lord Mayor. The critics will not be silent, but her worship has shown you that a woman from Banjul can stand at the podium of the United Nations and the world will listen. You are her legacy, and that legacy is just beginning. So to conclude, your worship, today we launch a book to chronicle your journey, a documentary to capture your impact, and a magazine to celebrate your vision. But your true legacy is not written on paper. It is written in the restored walls of the Albert Market, the clean water flowing to underserved communities, the young people earning dignified wages, and the women now preparing to take your place. It is written in the eyes of every girl in Banjul who now believes that one day she also can become a mayor. You have carried Banjul to the United Nations, you have carried the Gambia to the world, and you have done it with grace, with courage, and unshakable. The people of Banjul see you, the people of the Gambia applaud you, Africa and the world celebrate you. Her worship, Rohey Malik Lowe, we salute you, not only as the mayor of Banjul, but as a voice of a new Africa where women lead, where cities innovate, and where local government changes lives. Thank you, your worship, for the exemplary leadership you have shown over the years, serving the people of Banjul, the Gambia, Africa, and right through to the international level. Long may these years of service continue. We stand in sisterhood, solidarity, and most importantly, service. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today in celebrating this remarkable and outstanding sister, friend, mother, wife, daughter. The list goes on and on. So on behalf of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the good people of Leeds in the United Kingdom, and for everyone here in this room, may we say that may God bless her worship, Rohi Malik Low, may God bless the people of Banjul, and may God bless the Republic of Gambia. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ma. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to say thank you so much. We want to thank her worship, Abigail Marshall Katung, for that inspiring keynote address. And thank you for your powerful words, your leadership, and continued commitment to community development, unity, and empowerment. We are indeed truly honored by your presence here today, Ma. Thank you so much. We would like to respectfully acknowledge the presence of Mr. Usman Toure, Deputy Executive Coordinator for Banjul, and thank him for honoring this occasion with his presence. We will also, the Office of the Lord Mayor, also extend sincere appreciation to our valued sponsors whose generous support and partnership continue to contribute greatly to initiatives such as this. And special thanks to QCell, Turkish Airlines, APS, and Banjul Alport for standing with the people of Banjul and supporting the vision and efforts of the Office of the Lord Mayor. Your support is truly appreciated. And we are equally pleased to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Matar Sen, President of the Gambia Wrestling Association, Honorable Nde Yasin Sekasala, former Member of Parliament, as well as Mr. Burture and the Jumbanti Reumi presidential candidate. Thank you all for gracing this occasion with your presence and support. Julde.
Thank you, Andy, and thank you, Madam Abigail. That was a powerful, powerful statement. Please give her another round of applause. This is women power. This is women leadership, and it goes to show that when women lead, changes happen. Comme ki moy Abigail mom don na Hariti Mayo don na domi ndeyam momit former mayor la won ànd nak mayor bi si international events yu bari comme lum don wax rek si kalama angale mu nekk lu am solo mo nekk jaar-jaari mayor bi way tamit achievements yo xamne dal lolu la receive under pressure because situation bi tay suñ ko gisee tay mayor bi ñëpp xam nañ ne dañ ko bully dañ ko saaga cyber bullying cyber lii yoolu yëpp daj na ko si both sides of the country waaye gis nañ le loolu taxut mu ne déedéet lii man maa njëkkaa nekka mayor of Banjul waaye du man maa nekka laas soo doonee force pour nga bàyyi legacy pour ñi ñi doona la danga war a nekka nit koo xam ne daal danga xarañ waaye tamit danga war a nekka nit koo xam ne daal jigéeni jàmbaar nga jigéeni jàmbaar mooy nga fata sa noppa yi jigéeni jàmbaar mooy nga bàyyi nit ñi luñ la nekka di wax jigéeni jàmbaar mooy saaga bum la duga nga am a thick skin te gis nañ ne mayor jigéeni jàmbaar la góor ba mën jigéen ba mën góor la gis nañ achievements yu fi register mun nañoo wax ne sax achievements boom register moom si tanuwam bi mun nañoo wax ne sa góor yi moromi góoram yi xaax boobu noonu defuñ ko gis nañ ne fii Abigail lim na si achievements yoo xam ne daal mayor Rohey Malick Lowe def na ko si under her leadership gis nañ ne fu mu nekk ni jàngal na jigéen ñi jàngal na ndaw ñi jànga boo xam ne daal lu am solo la because jànga rek moo ñu liberate as a people suñ jàngee rek dañoo libéré soo gisee tey ñu ngee toog di wax women empowerment women leadership ñu ngee wax jigéen ñi dañ war a dem si kanam jigéen ñi dañ war a lead because for far too long jigéen ñi dañ dee gis ne dañ dee serve as yaay compines dañ dee gis ne jigéen si dañ dee nekk feccakat dañ dee gis jigéen ñi yoo dañ dee nekk toogakat si parti yi waaye mayor dafa ñëw mu ne enough is enough women if you can lead su dee ne mun nañ laa def si position bi as góor bi why can't we lead imagine ku jur góor ku mooltu góor ku ko defar ba mu mun a taxaw tey mu nekk président kon kooku noonu am na sañ-sañ bi am na mun-mun bi pour mu mun a lead fu nekk soo maire bi jaar-jaaram tey achievements bi rek lañ nekk di celebrate waaye buñ fàtte tamit jaar-jaar bi buñ fàtte ne saaga bi it comes with that foog nga am thick skin so moo taxit nag mu ngee wax ne man meeyoo Rohey Malick Lowe du ma jógee tànka fi ma jógee fi fekk aw ma ku ma replace so fon naa ne ñu yëpp tey dañ si war a jàngee di wax ne ok dama faa nekk ba faw waaye legacy booy bàyyi am na solo torop ëllëg ak si biir soo fa nekkutee kan ngay gurum pour mu nekk si sa place meeyo loolu la nekk di def nekkut fa pour boppam wax bi tamit bëri na di wax ne meeyo mu ngee tukki rek mooy meeyo mu ngee tukki comme Abigail lu mu ko waxee mu ne tukki bu mu nekk di tukki noonu nekkut pour boppam nekkul pour family am bi mu ngee tukki because of Banjul mu ngee tukki because of Gambia soo gisee tey mu ngee daan doola mu ngee dem suba guddi bëccëg munuta nelaw munuta toog is because jigéen ñi tey dafa bugg a gis ne jigéen ñi jàng nañ dafa bugg a gis ne jigéen ñi dañ am dignified life waaye dafa bugg a gis ne tamit ndaw ñi fekk jàng nañ xam nañ lan moo nekk seen ak seen yelleef because development because empowerment because access to clean water access to sanitation access to energy loolu are fundamental human rights so gisut ko dafa nekk di jàng jigéen ñi pour ñu xam ne lii nekkut tey dañ la ko jox rek pour yow citizen nga waaye sa ak sa yelef la loolu sa fundamental human right la mu nekk lu am solo so lu am na international awards yu bari yoo xam ne daal du Gambia fii la ko amee waaye all over the world address na toog na foo xam ne daal moo nekk the highest decision making body lu nekk United Nations General Assembly address na foofu noonu te wax na about yi fi jigéen yi ndaw yi ak climate change so gis nañ ne maire bi achievement bu mu register in the Gambia here 5,000 beneficiaries ñoo xam ne daal ñoo benefit from borehole bi youth empowerment initiatives yu nekk di def jàngale ndaw yu jigéen ñi empowerment garden bi gis nañ ne economy of the Gambia 70% of the economy of the Gambia people are in